This wedding was an assignment for my Religion 2 class in Catholic school.
This one's wife. She's not enough. Now, this one's wife in the past made great play of saying, "You are enough." But notwithstanding this self-absorption, it suggested that this isn't enough. According to that tome of unassailable veracity, Heat magazine, Prince Harry traded Buckingham Palace for the Californian dream, with this one's wife, over 4 years ago. And amid the couple's Hollywood reboot, 37.0, bolstered by their new Netflix projects, and this one's wife's American Riviera Orchard retirement homes brand launch, insiders say that deep down, Harry is still feeling like a fish out of water, and a lonely one at that. A source close to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, who are parents to Archie 4 and Elizabeth 2, in case you've forgotten, Archie now 5, of course, tells us Harry is doing his best to stay positive. Bless his cotton socks. But behind the brave face, he's feeling more than a little lost and isolated. His social life is limited at best, since most of his solid friendships were UK-based. Pausing there. This is a consequence of him rushing to be involved with this woman and then allowing her to take him overseas with the promise of a Californian idyll, which has then turned into a nightmare. The fact is that she, in order to control him, must ostracize him from his other relationships, particularly since his friends largely did not approve of her, something she'll be well aware of, and of course recognizing subconsciously that that would threaten her control over Harry. Therefore, it made sense to remove him from those, what she sees, malign influences. The insider continues, he's by no means short on things to do. He's frequently trying to find his building blocks, which have been scattered by Archie throughout the 47,000 flushing toilets of the Monty Shitshow mansion. Occasionally, he's frustrated by the fact that the cap has been left off his blue felt-tip pen, resulting in it drying out, and therefore he has to spend some time soaking it in vinegar, trying to coax the dye to come forward once again so he can finish one of his projects of colouring in. It's also the case that he's heavily involved in potato prints, and he's often sent out to buy jam by this one's wife so that she can pass it off in different jam jars and claim that it's to do with American Riviera Orchard. He's also got 2 children, and then there's all the meetings for his own projects, as well as the many legal cases he's involved with, even though he doesn't actually understand what's going on. But the social stimulation is seriously lacking, as is his support base. It can feel like it's all work and no play, which is kind of boring, to say the least. Former Suits star, this one's wife, 42, who was born and raised in California, in case you'd forgotten, is busier than ever with the launch of her lifestyle brand and filming underway for her new Netflix show, along with the necessity of scouring social media on a daily basis to see what's being said about her, writing as guest speaker on page 6 below the line, moonlighting as Water Over Stone and the Washington Post, and generally making a nuisance of herself by hoovering Hollywood stars and asking them if they want to hang out together. While this one's wife appears to be surrounded by close friends, including Tracy Robbins, the wife of Paramount Pictures president Brian Robbins, and actresses Melissa McCarthy and Mindy Kaling, Harry's friendships have seemingly fallen by the wayside. His long-standing pal, polo player Nacho Figueras, lives on the other side of the country in Florida, and the majority of his other friends, and of course his estranged family, are based thousands of miles away in the United Kingdom. And now we're told that with this one's wife's projects ramping up to 2 hours a week, Harry is growing increasingly concerned about what it will mean for their quality time together as a couple in the chicken coop, especially with his dwindling inner circle. The only time that Harry gets to let his receding hair down these days is when this one's wife puts time aside for a date night when she can be asked to bother with him, which is rare at the moment because she's so busy staring in the mirror. With the launch of American Riviera Orchard retirement homes, she's been having early nights, claiming to have a headache, ahead of long work days, not to mention issuing orders to other people to take care of the kids. And while he wishes he could spend more time kicking back with his wife, the source says Harry knows he needs more than just this one's wife to feel truly happy and fulfilled. She simply is not enough. He doesn't have the support system she has. Pausing there. That is by design. Her narcissism instinctively ensures that she has this extensive fuel matrix on which she can rely for the provision, naturally, of fuel, but also character traits and residual benefits, whilst ensuring that he doesn't have a support network because that makes him all the more reliant upon her and thus easier to control. That is standard operating procedure for a narcissist. Most of the people who he could hang out with are more on an acquaintance level. This one's wife has been sympathetic, false contrition of the situation to a degree, but she's very much of the mindset that their backs are against the wall and it's crunch time career-wise. Even though the Duke, 39, is also preparing to take the helm of a solo Netflix endeavour, which will provide viewers unprecedented access to the world of professional polo, which is bound to be a ratings winner, Heat's insider says the TV world is still very far out of the former royal's comfort zone. We're told his professional turmoil, on top of the family situation, what with both his father King Charles and sister-in-law Kate Middleton battling cancer, has resulted in Harry feeling unsettled and detached. Naturally, that would be the case, that notwithstanding his behaviours, he would care about the situation of his father and his sister-in-law, but nevertheless isn't motivated sufficiently to do anything about it because of the level of control that's asserted by his wife and the fact, of course, that his family have had enough of him and won't have anything to do with him. The article explains his family are almost 6,000 miles away, and that's been playing heavily on his mind because he's so cut off from them. He's desperately worried about his father and Kate's health, and he's been fretting about the estrangement between himself and William. Doing these Netflix shows is all well and good, but they're not really his forte. He needs heavy direction from this one's wife. Well, of course, he's become accustomed to that. He has been conditioned to that by virtue of the way that she controls him. He needs heavy direction from this one's wife when it comes to his involvement in lifestyle or domestic-type ventures. It's making him feel a bit sorry for himself. Again, it's up to you to judge the veracity of this, but there clearly are glimmers of truth in all of this, that an isolated victim who's removed from the country that he knows, so that he's from his family and friends, and plonked into an environment that is not familiar to him, will feel detached and isolated. And as I explained, this is by design of the narcissism. It's also interesting, of course, that she isn't enough for him, because reliance upon her doesn't satisfy his need for other projects and other curricular activities. She, of course, gave him lashings of spicy poontang, mirrored his likes, supported his vulnerabilities, and made him think, I've got someone who's truly interested in me. But because he's been experiencing the sustained devaluation, much of that has been withdrawn. He might be lucky if he gets a lazy hand job once in a while. She isn't interested in his complaints because she's too focused on what she's doing, and of course she has no emotional empathy for him. And he, like many victims of a narcissist, has been conditioned to rely upon her, and now, with the golden period having receded, she's focused truly on herself, leaving him feeling ignored, and thus the realization that she isn't enough for him. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.